In this tutorial, we will be going over the orthographic view. In the orthographic view, we are going to be drawing a front view, a side view, and a top view to a specific drawing. Now, the reason why we do an orthographic view is to show the viewer all of the sides that we can to give them the best understanding of how it's supposed to look or how they're supposed to build an actual object. What I have in front of you right here on your workspace or on the screen is what is called an isometric view. We will not be doing an isometric view yet. This right here is showing you a top view section. This right here is a side view section. So whenever we're looking at an object, let's pretend that this was actually a 3D object, even though it's not. It appears 3D, but this is definitely a 2D object because this is just an isometric view. Now, we have to understand that this is going to be providing us the three views that we need for orthographic. So you actually have to visualize this object or this block in your hand, and you can rotate it at any viewpoint that you want it to be. So this right here is going to be the top, this side, and then the front. We are going to set up our workspace in these four different sections. This is going to help us provide a nice clean piece of paper when we're drawing our orthographic views. On the bottom left corner is going to be presented our front view. The bottom right corner is going to be our side view, and our top left corner is going to be the top view. The first thing that we're going to do is look at our isometric drawing and try to recreate this front view. The first thing that I want to do is hit the line command and make sure that all of my different settings are correct at the bottom of the screen. I'm going to switch from polar tracking to ortho tracking because we're doing an orthographic view. The next thing I want to do is plot my starting point, which I'll put it as 1.5 comma 1, and that will be my starting point. Now, having it in an orthographic view will provide my crosshairs to only land at 0, 90, 180, and so forth. I need to make my front view, it says that it has to be 1 inches in width. So I'm going to go in the correct direction, press 1, enter. And now I have to go up 1. I have to go to the side. I'm sorry, 0.25, 0.5, 0.5, and finally closing it. This right here would be our front view. That if you were to able to take this block, as I said, put it in your hand and turn so you can just see a front view portion of this block, that's what it would look like. The next thing that we want to do is make the side view and then the top view. Before I do that, I want to make some more layers. Whenever we're making more than one drawing, we have to make our different layers. So we are going to put in ALA, enter, and our layers section is going to come up. I'm going to make 4 different layers. One of my layers is going to be guideline. Another layer is going to be top view, side view, and finally front view. Now I can X out of this, but before I do that, I'm also going to change the coloring of all of my objects. So I'll make the front view, I'll leave it as white. My side view, I'm going to change to red. and my top view I'll make green. My guidelines, I'll leave them white as well. Now, before, hold on, let me type in LA again. I need to make my guidelines, instead of a continuous line, I want to load in a dash line and make that my guideline, because I'm also going to be using a dash line for when I use my hidden lines. Now I can X out of this. I want to drop down and go to my guideline. The next thing that I want to do is go to properties, and remember, I want to switch the scaling. Instead of it being 1 inch, I want to switch it to 0.25 and press enter. These guidelines are going to help me draw the rest of my orthographic view. No matter what I do, I should be able to say that it's only going to be a certain height and a certain width to this actual block. So all I have to do is take this line. If I wanted to, I can go all the way across. Same thing over here. Now, this side view should not go outside of these dotted lines. The same thing goes for the top view. Let me grab my line command, and I'm just going to make a random starting point. I know that the side view is going to be 2 inches long, and I can just connect it up here and make my rectangle. Now, there's a problem. I have to switch my side view. Before I do that, let me click my lines. Switch the layer to side view, and now I have my side view. Now I have to make one more line. That line is going to be this line right here. That is going to be considered a hidden line. You do not see it. So to make a hidden line, I need to make a dash line. Just like that. That is going to be my hidden line. However, it's in the wrong layer. So I need to, first off, I don't need that line. So I'm going to click this line, bring it into the side view, but I'm not done. I'm also going to make the properties different. I'm going to switch it by double clicking the line from a bilayer to a continuous line. I'm sorry, to a dash line. Press escape, and it's that simple. Now it's telling the viewer that there is something here, that you better look at the isometric view because there is a hidden line here. The next thing that we're going to do is draw the top view. I'll randomly place it right here. Before I do that, let's switch it to the top view layer is now active. Grab my line command. I'm going to go up 2 inches, and I'm just going to finish off this rectangle. The next thing I want to do is I want to draw these views right here on the top view. So I'm going to need to come out 0.25, 0.5, and now that, if I had the block in my hand and I was just looking at the top, you would see these two little sleeves right here, and then you would see the middle. Now let me trim away these extra dotted lines that we do not need. And the same thing down here. Okay. And let me switch this to my front view. So now I have all of these in different layers. I can turn one off and I can work on another. The next thing that I need to do is start dimensioning my object. Switch to linear. And now I'm going to say that this is 1 inch wide. Enter to redo the command. By 1 inches, and to redo the command. Now, we do not want these in our top view layer. We want the dimensioning. We'll put it into the default layer. Okay. Now, finally, whenever you're doing an orthographic view, we want to label everything so the viewer knows exactly what they're looking at. So let me go to text. I'll pick this point right here. I'll type H for height. I will switch it to 0.125. And I'm going to say that this will be my endpoint. This is my, all caps, my front view. And I'm going to switch this to my default layer. And I'm going to make my default layer now active. Copy this. So I'm going to move it. Copy it. Bring it up here. And bring it over here. And now all I have to do is change front view to top view. My front view over here to side view. For your assignment, you are going to do this drawing right here. This isometric drawing you are going to make in an orthographic view. Your starting point is going to be 1.5, 1. C, enter, E, enter. And this is the drawing that should be completed and printed out. I do not care how far away these two views are from this view. As long as it's in these two boxes, I'm fine with that. This one has a starting point, however. You do not have to do the isometric view. This is the only view that you can do.